Welcome to Roadie Wellness, where we explore all things health and self-care. Whether you're seeking mental clarity, physical fitness, or insight from students like you, we've got you covered. Welcome back to the Roadie Wellness podcast. I am Olivia, and I am here with Leetal today. She is the graduate research assistant with the Collegiate Recovery Program, also known as CRP.
Hi, Olivia. It's so awesome to be here.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you. Do you mind just giving us a brief overview of what CRP is?
Sure, I would love to. So CRP, we're actually calling it Rams Together for Recovery and Wellness. We provide a safe, inclusive, and empowering community for students who are in or seeking recovery from substance use, and we exist to support students, reduce stigma around substance use, and create a campus culture where recovery is celebrated. We know that recovery is nuanced and everyone has a different lived experience with this term. So in this space, we've chosen to define recovery as a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live self-directed lives, and strive to reach their full potential.
Okay, awesome. So is this directed at students who are struggling with all kinds of substance use issues, or is it specifically drugs, specifically alcohol, or...
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it is directed at literally anyone who wants to explore making some sort of change with the way they use substances. So it doesn't matter if they want to completely go abstinent or if they just want to cut back a little bit, if they're not even sure that they're ready to make any kind of change, but they're just starting to think about it. All of those people, there's a space for everyone. We don't follow a specific recovery model. We're designed to just be there for everyone. We have sober social events, we have art and wellness programming, and a lot of peer recovery support, and that's kind of the goal here, is to create a compassionate community recovery space.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like you have a lot of resources and different events happening within the program. Can you talk a little bit more about what specific events and different resources that you have in the program, and also why you kind of wanted to include that in this recovery program?
A couple of things. We do have a weekly program schedule, but we also have, I definitely want to talk about our drop-in lounge in the Memorial Union. That's MU room 118. So it's kind of by the mail room across from MAVE, the military center. It's right down there. It's a super cozy, fun vibe lounge, and that is open as a drop-in space to anyone. When that door is open, anyone who wants to be surrounded by like-minded people, wellness-oriented people, a nice space to do homework, grab a cup of coffee, sit down on the beanbag with your friends, anything like that. It's a nice, cozy lounge. Anybody should stop by and check it out, which a lot of people actually have, which has been nice. So when the door is open, anyone is welcome in there. And then we do have specific weekly programming for students who are specifically seeking recovery support. And that's going to probably look different semester to semester, but for fall 2025, we have a women's meeting happening at 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. And all of these meetings, by the way, are in that drop-in lounge. Then we have on Tuesday, Art with Andrew from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Then on Wednesday, we have Considering Change, which is a space to rethink the way that they're using substances, and that's going to be from 5 to 6 p.m. on that Wednesday night. And then Thursday, we have two groups happening on Thursdays. The first one, which I'm really excited about, I'll talk a little bit more about it also, but it's called Move to Heal, and it goes from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., so it's an hour and a half. The first 30 minutes, we meet in the Memorial Union room 315, so that's the top floor. It's right off the stairs, and we do a 30-minute group workout, which is adaptable to anyone, any beginner, anyone, and you don't have to be in recovery for that meeting. That one is just anyone looking to better their well-being and mental health in community support. So that is a 30-minute workout followed by a 1-hour group support meeting. And then we have a men's meeting Thursday night, 6 to 7 p.m. And then on Friday, we have queer wellness from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m.
This sounds like you have a variety of programs for the participants and people who are a part of this group, which is awesome. Is there a specific reason that you vary the types of programs? I hear that you have art programs, exercise. I know there's a lot of benefits to that for mental health. Can you share the premise behind that a little bit?
Yeah, so first of all, we definitely want to make sure that we're providing a compassionate, recovery-affirming campus community. We want to be inclusive, and we understand that there are many different recovery pathways, so we want to make sure that we open up for people to talk about just whatever might be bothering them, specific issues. We know that people thrive together in community, and that's what we're kind of trying to build. With the workout class, the idea behind that is when you work out in community, as a group, the benefits of working out alone, we've talked about it in a previous podcast actually, are just like insane. It's so good for your mental health. And to combine that with a 1-hour support meeting afterwards builds that sense of community that really we all need. We are all wired for connection. And I think that's kind of the goal between all of our programs, is to create connection in those areas where sometimes people experience different barriers that are actually, like, sometimes you can feel so alone or that something is unique to you, but when you're in a group, you realize that it's actually not as unique. Like, for an example, if you were to take a group of freshmen, they all just moved into campus. They're all going through that homesickness, big adjustment to a new campus culture, the dining hall. You think about all these points that they can connect on, that they're thinking about, but they don't formally sit down to be like, hey, we're all freshmen. We're all thinking about the same thing. Let's talk about it. And we know how helpful that can be. So when you think about the specific groups that we have, like queer wellness group, for an example, the queer community experiences a lot of different barriers a lot of times, but it's barriers that they can all probably understand together because they all identify with that. So creating those spaces to create conversations really is important. When you even think about the group that we have on Wednesdays, it's called Considering Change. Something that I think is so important is that sometimes when people are using substances in college, it's normal, it's normative, right? Like, of course, we're going to go out and drink. Of course, we're going to go out and smoke or whatever it is. And it's actually, like, not so normal. If you actually look at the data, I don't have the exact number, so I don't want to throw it around, but a big percent of the college population is actually not drinking. So when we throw out those statistics, like everyone's drinking, you think about if you have a group of 3 people, right, and everyone, let's just throw an example that everyone in this group of people is smoking together, and they're passing around whatever, but each person is thinking to themselves, I don't really want to be doing this. I don't fully enjoy this anymore. But no one's going to say that out loud, right? So they're all just going to stay in that cycle of doing it. So I think what's really nice about that space and just about all the spaces that we're creating is that we're creating room to have the conversations of, like, you know what, maybe I don't really enjoy this, and how could I cut back on it, and all of those things. I think it's also important for people to realize when they start to be thinking about it or that they're thinking twice, it's okay to have mixed feelings about it. It's actually pretty normal to have mixed feelings. So people may also need to remake that decision several times before being comfortable with the fact that, like, you know what, yeah, maybe I do want to cut back or I do want to seek out support. So what's really important to know about this program is that it's just here for anyone and anything that they need. We're not a clinical treatment program. We're not a formal rehab facility. There's no contracts to sign. We're not judging anyone. Our mission is just to honor all the pathways to recovery, offer that peer support, some wellness education, and sober spaces that will empower students to thrive academically, socially, and personally.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're building a community of like-minded people who are just working towards the same goal, that will be able to understand each other and, like, support each other in that, especially when it's something that can be hard to do, like choosing to overcome substance use or, like, even just want to cut back on it. So that's awesome. It sounds like a really great place and safe space that you're building for people. I know you mentioned those support groups a lot. Can you talk us through, like, what that looks like? Is there, like, a formal setup for those support groups, or, like...
So that's a really great question. We don't have any sort of formal setup. It's all drop-in base. You not have to sign your name on something if you come in. There's no, like, huge commitment. And that's the special part of, like, if you just need a place to be, when we have those times and we have a calendar out on that Memorial Union room, you could just show up there. And that's all you really have to do. So just walk yourself into the Memorial Union, room 118, at one of those times that we have a meeting. If that meeting sounds like it could be for you, so just drop by and walk in and take it from there.
That's awesome. That sounds really accessible to a lot of people, so that's really nice. And then lastly, how can people connect with the CRP and get involved either with you or just with the program directly? You mentioned Memorial Union 118. What other spaces or contacts can you throw out there for people who want to get involved?
Yes, so people can go to the Health Services website and navigate to the health promotion section, and there'll actually be a whole thing about the CRP and how to get more information. You can also email me. My email is leetalyoung2, the number 2, at uri.edu. There is a QR code right outside, like on the window of that Memorial Union space, so students can scan that QR code and leave their name if they'd rather me email them or someone email them. And yeah, besides that, the health services website, the counseling center website, and just drop into the space.
Is there anything else that you want to add or any other information that you think is important for people to know out there about the CRP?
One more thing to add, I think, is that college is a very, very, very important period of time in our lives. It's a transformational period where we're making changes. When we go towards health and wellness, these are hopefully habits that we can have for life. Right now is the time. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and remember that you are living with yourself and your mind. So make it a nice place to be kind to your mind, do what's good for you. And remember, so if you find yourself in a space where you're like, wait, I don't know if I really like this anymore or something, it's okay to question that, even if it's not the norm that you see happening around you. Feel free to question that, and you're the one who is living with your choices, so make the ones that feel good for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Leetal. It was great to be able to get so much information, and I wish you and your program so much success.
Thank you very much.
Before we wrap up, a quick reminder that all information shared in today's podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Thank you for listening to another episode of Roadie Wellness. If you like what you heard today, tune in every Tuesday on all podcast platforms for more. If you want to stay up to date on events and healthcare tips, please follow us at URI Health Promotions on Instagram. And if you have any ideas for future podcast episodes or more social media content that you'd like to see, please feel free to DM us or email us. Until next time, take care and stay healthy.